I once had a chat with an emu, well, more like a staring contest. It all unfolded during an adventure down under, a journey to the vast expanse of Australia, which is teeming with exotic flora and fauna. Here, you'll find kangaroos bouncing across the plains, the notorious Vegemite that leaves a distinctive taste on your tongue, and of course the majestic emus, an integral part of the Australian ecosystem. Have you ever been in the presence of an emu? Imagine a prehistoric creature cloaked in feathers, a strange blend between a dinosaur and a bird. They're not exactly the feathered friends you'd expect. They're more like cacti, prickly and detached. My tale begins when I came face to beak with one such creature, attempting to strike up a conversation. I started with a simple Aussie greeting, a cheerful "G'day, mate." The emu, however, remained motionless, its gaze unchanging. Not one to back down easily, I decided to switch tactics. I thought, maybe it doesn't understand English. So I attempted to mimic the creature, puffing up my chest, squawking, and even performing a haphazard dance. The emu, unfazed, just stared back at me. I couldn't help but imagine the bird thinking, "This human's lost his marbles." Undeterred, I opted to change my approach again. I pondered, perhaps it's about cultural communication. So I started talking about Australia's beloved sport, cricket. I rambled on about the legendary Sir Don Bradman, his breathtaking batting average of 99.94 in Test cricket. The emu, however, was far from being impressed. It merely blinked, an action that sent a wave of desperation through me. In my desperation, I resorted to flattery. Its plumage, its elegant neck, and those muscular legs that could cover vast distances in a blink, but alas, the emu was as unfazed as ever. It was like throwing a boomerang that never returned. After a seemingly endless conversation that felt more like a monologue, I had an epiphany. The emu wasn't playing hard to get or waiting for the perfect line. It was just being an emu, content in its existence as a massive feathered bird, perfectly indifferent to my attempts at conversation. And that, my friends, is how I learned that emus don't respond well to pick-up lines, or any lines, really. Imagine, if you will, being on a date with an emu, or a kangaroo, or a koala. Pick your Aussie animal, mate. Start with the emu. Emus are quick, always in motion. This can be like dating a person who's constantly hustling without any pause. You're at an Italian restaurant, waiting, and when your emu date arrives, they're in a flurry, apologizing for being late. They've just come from a meeting or the gym or rescuing a baby koala. They're always on the move, their stamina contagious yet tiring. Then there's the kangaroo, known for their powerful legs and boxing tendency. You're on a date at the movies enjoying popcorn. Suddenly the kangaroo receives a text, a boxing challenge. She glances at you, popcorn gripped, and asks, "You don't mind, do you?" And off she leaves, you alone in the dimmed theatre, debating whether to wait or head home. Next, the koala, epitomizing tranquility and relaxation, sleeping up to 20 hours a day. Visualize dating a koala. You've planned a surprise park picnic, but your koala date is dormant once more. You attempt to rouse them, but they merely nestle deeper into their tree, dreaming of eucalyptus leaves. You're left alone, consuming the sandwiches, watching the sunset solo. Then, the platypus, a peculiar mix, a bit of everything. Dating a platypus is like dating a jack of all trades with no particular specialization. You're at a trivia night, and your platypus date jumps from topic to topic, astonishing everyone with their extensive knowledge. But when it comes to the final winning question, they simply shrug, stating, "I don't know, mate. I'm just here for some fun." So, dating can be an exhilarating journey, full of twists and surprises, mirroring a date with an Australian creature. Each has unique traits, like the individuals we encounter in the dating scene. Navigating this terrain can be thrilling, but it's crucial to remember that everyone has their own flaws. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and recognizing these can aid us in forging deeper, more substantial bonds. Imagine on those rare instances where you feel like you found the perfect mate, like in a fairy tale. But then they do something unexpected. The perfect mate suddenly reveals a quirk or a habit that throws you off balance. It's these nuances that make dating such a fascinating adventure. It's as if you're on a perpetual journey, where each moment reveals new facets of your partner. In conclusion, dating, much like dealing with Australian creatures, can be a rollercoaster ride of emotions and experiences. It's a world filled with unpredictability, excitement, disappointments, and joy. Each date, each animal presents a unique set of challenges, lessons, and rewards. It's about finding the balance, about understanding and accepting the other for who they are, quirks, boxing and all. So you might end up realizing that dating a kangaroo isn't as fun as it sounds, especially when she starts boxing you for the last piece of dessert. Now let's say that emu, kangaroo or koala is actually a member of the opposite sex. Just go with me on this one. Picture yourself in the expansive wilderness of Australia, happening upon an intriguing encounter with a kangaroo. This isn't your run-of-the-mill kangaroo. This marsupial represents someone from the opposite gender that you're in. Hang on a minute, you counter. Since when do kangaroos articulate words? Technically they don't, but let's play along with this hypothetical scenario, assuming they've vocalized something that's left you utterly puzzled. You see, navigating the labyrinth of dating and relationships can often make you feel as if you're trying to comprehend an entirely different species. Just as you wouldn't anticipate a kangaroo to utter barks like a dog, it's unreasonable to expect every man or woman to behave identically. We all possess our distinct idiosyncrasies, conduct patterns and methods of expressing our emotions. Let's create a situation where your kangaroo starts moving around in circles. In the pragmatic world, this might indicate their playful mood or their excitement upon finding a delicious patch of grass. However, in our metaphorical context, this could symbolize your dating partner laughing heartily at your jokes, even those which aren't genuinely amusing, or leaning in closer during your conversations. These actions represent a sign of interest, an encouraging signal. Next, consider the emu. Have you ever witnessed an emu sprinting? It's an incredible spectacle. Believe me, if during your date your emu companion suddenly begins running, it doesn't necessarily imply that they're frightened or disinterested. Perhaps they're in haste because they have a companion waiting with a chilled beverage at the local pub. Always remember, every action holds a profound, hidden significance. Now let's think about the koala. If your koala friend starts ascending a tree, it doesn't invariably mean they're attempting to evade you. They might just be slightly introverted and require some time to become comfortable. Or they possibly spotted some tantalizing eucalyptus leaves above. The conclusion here is, don't hasten in making assumptions. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not implying that every member of the opposite sex is as straightforward to comprehend as a children's book about Australian fauna. Nor am I suggesting that they're as capricious as a kangaroo bouncing on a pogo stick. My point essentially is that interpreting someone else's signals and behavior demands time, patience, and a healthy sense of humor. Hence, the next occasion you find yourself endeavoring to decipher the opposite sex, recollect our Australian animal companions. Maintain an open mind, refrain from making assumptions, and most importantly, don't take everything too seriously. The essence of dating is enjoyment. After all, it shouldn't feel like you're trying to crack quantum physics. So, if she's hopping around like a kangaroo on caffeine, chances are she's excited, or she's just really into kangaroo impressions. So, what's the moral of this story, you ask? Let's sit back, relax, and ponder over the lessons that this remarkable tale of ours has unfolded. Our journey, our mission, if you will, to understand the opposite sex is intricate, laden with twists and turns. Often we overlook the glaring fact that we're dealing with another human being, a person with unique thoughts, emotions and dreams, not a cryptic puzzle awaiting resolution. It's comparable to attempting to comprehend the intricate motivations of an emu. Just consider it. Have you ever tried to anticipate the upcoming move of an emu? Have you tried to understand its peculiar, its unpredictable behaviour? My friend, you would have a better chance of accurately predicting Melbourne's notoriously fickle weather. But that's the enticing part of it, the crux, if you will. We are not destined to completely decode the enigma that is another person, the mystery that shrouds their thoughts, their desires, their dreams. Within this conundrum lies the beauty of uncertainty, the allure of surprise, the thrill of unpredictability that makes the entire dating game a tantalizing roller coaster ride. Ask yourself, do you really desire a predictable date? A monotonous play-by-play as riveting as observing slow drying of paint on a sweltering summer day? Is that what you're seeking? Instead of obsessing over cracking the code, let's shift the focus to the common thread that ties all of us together: communication. I'm not referring to the poetic language of love or sentimental phrases that touch the heart. I am emphasizing the importance of a good old-fashioned chat. Engage in conversation, ask fascinating questions, share your riveting stories, lend an ear when they speak, and most importantly, let your laughter ring out. Laughter, my friends, is a universal language that transcends borders, a unifying force. It's akin to the Vegemite of social interactions, unique, an acquired taste, yet once you're accustomed to, you realize it's unparalleled. Regardless of how intricate, baffling, or perplexing the opposite sex may seem to us, bear this in mind. At the end of the day, we're all just humans, trying to figure each other out, striving to find common ground. And when you pause to reflect, that's a rather humorous notion, don't you think? Consequently, let's not get too entangled in our own seriousness. The world is already bursting at the seams with seriousness. Let's contribute a dose of a dash of wit and a deluge of laughter to the mix. And remember, if you ever find yourself on a date with an emu, don't try to impress her with your bird calls. Trust me on this one.